What a beautiful Easter gift Alexie Brooks gave us last weekend. Her victory is really a powerful reminder that all beautiful things happen in God's perfect timing. Alexie may have stumbled on her goal of winning the Miss Universe Philippines crown last year, but she was still able to reign with grace and humility just the same. So here I am making a content to celebrate her greatness and the lessons we can learn from her, who embraced progress, poise, and the honor of representing our country to the Miss Eco International pageant this year. So first lesson that I learned from Alexie's victory in Miss Eco International is that there is always a room for improvement in terms of styling and pasarela walk. One noticeable aspect of Alexie's candidacy here in Miss Eco International is how she was able to improve on her styling and pasarela skills. I am really amazed at how she has improved so much on this aspect because you could no longer see the excess movement that she had during the Miss Universe Philippines pageant last year, as she was finally doing it clean this time around, which really elevated her candidacy even more in this pageant. And even, nakita nyo rin naman, and even with her wardrobe styling, she was wearing all these pastel colors that really highlight her luscious skin tone. So she really came off looking so cool and refreshing to everyone's eyes. I also have to say that I was also stunned with her gold Rian Fernandez gown, as it really brought out her classiness and elegance on stage. Because one look at her Rian Fernandez gown and you will really see the difference. Napansin nyo guys, there are no more high slits grabbing our attention like how her gowns were during Miss Universe Philippines last year. There is now more emphasis on her face and simplicity just by looking at the elegance of this gown. That cascading armband pa really made her look like she was floating or gliding on stage. For once, I thought I would never say this to Alexie, but she really looks so soft with her wardrobe styling here for Miss Eco International, because she really made herself different this time around. Natuto na siya from the things that weighed her down during Miss Universe Philippines last year. So she's really one example of a candidate who used her pageant experience to improve on her next one. So second lesson, you can still win the title as long as you give a very confident and natural answer. Yup. Yan ang naramdaman ko when she finally answered her Q&A towards the final round. Now, this is where a lot of us may have a differing opinion, but Alexie still deserved to win her title just by hearing her answer alone. And even though she wasn't able to directly answer her final question, which was what change she would have wanted to see by 2050 given our environmental problems, she still gave a very confident and natural answer nonetheless. Because based from her answer, she would have assumed we would have learned how to act on our environmental problems because our Mother Earth has been suffering. And for me, the most impactful statement there was when she said, "We have the same mother, but we come from different nations." And I thought that was a very clever strategy to appeal to our emotions. I know it may have sounded repetitive, but she appealed to our emotions by pleading for help. And I think that really what connected her the most with the judges and audience alike. That you don't have to come out with the most brilliant answer, in this case by giving the exact change that she would have wanted to have seen by 2050, but by how confident and natural her answer was instead. Because the way she answered it made it so conversational, napansin nyo. Her delivery was very natural, and it also really helped that Alexie's eloquence was very evident here. So it did not sound trite or forced at all. So you see, with Alexie's case here in this very tricky Q&A portion, you sometimes don't have to be on point or direct to the point with your answers, but for as long as you sounded right with your naturality and confidence, then you can still win the crown. Sometimes kasi the judges will not score you based on your answer or on your technicalities or in the way you're answering it, but with just one's poise and confidence level. But you know what? But you know what I super love the most about her answer here is that even in her other Q&A portions here in Miss Echo International, napansin nyo, she finally learned how to speak slow and taking her sweet time in answering her questions. Napansin nyo, di ba, hindi na siya gigil at mabilis magsalita na parang lagi siyang may hinahabol given her background as an athlete. So again, she learned from another criticism that she faced during Miss Universe Philippines last year and vowed to improve on it. So look how it worked wonders for her this time around. Right? Now let's go to our third lesson. And my third lesson here is she went against the perceived prototype of the pageant. Now, this is really by far the biggest lesson I have learned from Alexie's win in Miss Echo International. As the first Black winner of this pageant, it really says how this pageant has finally embraced diversity out of Alexie May Brooks in its decade-old existence. When everyone is saying she doesn't fit the mold given our string of titles and placements in this pageant, Alexie proved us otherwise. She did not mind the prevailing prototype and still minded her own strategy to win the crown. Na as long as you feel confident and strong, there's no prototype or barrier that you could overcome. So take it from Alexie here, who, rather than targeting perfection, found true beauty in her path to greatness. Now, let's go to my next lesson, which is discipline, attitude of gratitude, and going back to your core are really essentials to winning the crown. Alexie's win in Miss Echo International really highlights her discipline to win in any competition that she has done in the past, given her athletic background. And just like how she prepared for the SEA Games and other sports tournaments, she really put in hours of non-stop training to be a better version of herself as an aspiring beauty queen. And hindi niya talaga siya nagkamali in putting her work ethic and discipline to make her achieve greatness in life. So it does not matter if you have the ideal beauty to go for pageants like Miss Echo International. If you don't have the self-discipline to go through hours of training, it will be even harder to make it. Because success doesn't just come from pure luck. You really create it. Take for example, how Alexie trained for her pasarela skills here. She not only had one trainer for it, but 3 trainers helping her for her bid. We all know she's being trained by aces and queens, and so there is Sir Louis to help her with the basics. Then Anton of the Muse Philippines from Cebu was there to improve it or enhance it, and CJ Opiasa for the routines of her walk in the end. So, napansin nyo, Alexie asked help from a lot of people and incorporated one lesson from each trainer for her much improved or softer walk here in Miss Echo International. So you see, Alexie decided on what level of effort and time that she was willing and able to put in to reach her goals. And the rest is history. And another aspect that I want to highlight here is in her campaign is how she practices the attitude of gratitude ever since she became an aspiring beauty queen. Napansin nyo in her interviews, she is always grateful for everything that is coming her way. She may not say it to you outright, but her body language tells it all. Because she always thinks of her fellow Ilonggos in every fight or competition that she goes through, and is very grateful for the immense support that she has been receiving from them all throughout her pageant journey. And I say this because I really became teary-eyed after watching her post-crowning interview with Paui Ventura of Missosology, especially when she said how grateful she was in that moment of holding hands with Miss Indonesia in the end, how she did not mind if Miss Indonesia would have ended up winning because she knew she was also a strong competitor, and that she was just grateful to be able to compete internationally, which led her to remember her late grandmother, Lola Basing, who really kept inspiring her to do her best to move forward and win in life. And I think that really makes her so relatable and authentic, that she never keeps forgetting her roots, her core of who she is as a person. And I think her roots or core also became a deciding factor for her to win the title, because the judges, I feel, might have gotten to know more of her authenticity during the closed-door interview prior. What do you think? And now we go to my final lesson, which is Always believe in signs and the power of manifestation. As a professional athlete, we can only imagine Alexie's level of determination to succeed in life. And so I wasn't really surprised that she outran most of her rivals for the crown this year. Maybe it also helped that she had developed this habit of achieving excellence in everything that she does. When she was competing in Miss Iloilo a year ago, she was quoted envisioning herself in the logo of the Miss Iloilo organization. And it happened. She manifested the same then with the logo of Miss Eco International. And it also happened, especially if she was seeing signs as well. Tignan nyo. Kasi if you're a true blue Alexie fan, di ba, her lola's birthday falls on April 15, 5 days from her crowning moment. Her name is Alexie May Brooks, short from the word Alexandria, the site of the pageant for the very first time in the history of Miss Eco International in Egypt. Kasi di ba laging sa Hurghada ginaganap yung pageant ng Miss Eco International for the last few years. So all these signs are pointing to Alexie's imminent victory, and all Alexie had to do was to put in the work and claim the title. And as one saying goes, your thoughts create the map, but your actions pave the road to success. And I think Alexie is the perfect example of this manifestation. So there you go, guys. What do you think about the lessons that I shared here from Alexie's Miss Eco International victory? Well, let me know your thoughts down below to see all your feedback as well. Alright, guys. Until my next video, congratulations again, Alexie. You are not just only a world-class athlete, but also a world-class Filipina beauty queen worth celebrating. Until my next video, guys. Bye!